Happy New Year! We did it! It's 2026! I read 6.5 books. 3 were a top and 3 were a flop. And 1 is undetermined. This month we had 0 DNFs, so that means we were not disappointed. If you like quick, rapid, honest book reviews, and you're just here to find out what you should read next, you're in the right place. We're gonna jump straight into my 6.5 reads for December, and I'll let you know what I thought. So my December TBR included 8 books. The TBR included 3 holiday books, 1 new release, and 3 books from authors I've never read before. We also included a bonus book, and that was Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. So I wanted to read 8 books. I only read 6.5, and I'll tell you what happened. Let me explain. So the Deal of a Lifetime we actually completed in November. I finished my November TBR pretty early, and I jumped right into my December TBR. So I've already reviewed A Deal of a Lifetime by Fredrik Backman. If you want that review, you'll have to check out the last reading wrap up. One quick note before we start. For 2026, we're going to start rating our books tops or flops. Anything 3 stars or below is actually going to be considered a flop. Don't come for me. I know. And anything 4 stars and above is actually going to be considered a top. Let me reiterate, these are my opinions. These are my thoughts and feelings. If you love these books, if you hated these books, you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm so happy for you.
That's my opinion!
We are allowed to disagree. And I also want to note that 3 stars is actually a pretty good rating for a book. It's, mid-level, it's middle of the road, and it doesn't necessarily mean it was bad, it just was kind of meh for me. So the first book for December that we read is Yours for the Season by Uzma Jalaluddin. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Yours for the Season got 0 out of 5 for Spice, and this is going to be considered a flop. I rated it 3 stars because I rated one of Uzma's books last year 5 stars. I know Uzma is capable of writing a really amazing book, so I had that book to compare to this book, and it just didn't hit for me. If you love pretty vanilla, happy-go-lucky romance stories with a little bit of familial issues, this book's for you. I think it was just kind of bland for me. I was looking for more excitement, but the story was pretty cute. The concept was very modern. The characters were really cute. It just vanilla. The second book we read in December was Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I did give this book a 4 out of 5 rating. This is considered a top for me. I did rate Mate a 5 out of 5 for Spice. Whoa. I had such a fun time in this book. The characters were amazing. I had no real emotional reaction to this book. I was just there for a good time. And it was a good time. I'm really glad that I have this book. I'm glad that I continued this series. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. If this is a duology, forget that I even said that. If you're a fan of Ali Hazelwood or you really enjoyed Bride, I definitely recommend this for you. It was a fun, silly time as per usual, but it was also pretty serious and had you really scared for our main character. The third book I read for December was Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. I rated this book a 3 out of 5, so that's unfortunately going to make it a flop for me. I did rate Wreck the Halls 2 out of 5 for Spice. I think the reason that I rated it a 3 was, again, it was a meh time for me. There was nothing too crazy happening. However, there were 2 unique main characters that had very unique backgrounds, and the connection was really interesting. However, it was really hard for me to relate to that book or understand some of the things that they were actually going through. The romance part of the book was pretty good though. If you like your typical Christmas rom-com books, you'd probably enjoy this one. This book was a time and a time we had. The fourth book that we read in December was Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I am sad to report that I did rate this book a 3 out of 5 stars, and that's gonna unfortunately make it a flop for me. I did rate Red Rising 1 out of 5 for Spice. I haven't done a lot of research on the series, so I'm not sure if it gets better as it goes along, but I just had a lot of trouble with this book. Pierce Brown seems like a great writer. The story and the motives for the character and the plots seemed amazing. I think it was just too slow paced for me. Also, there was romance as a very small piece of the story, and you guys know I need some romance in my books. If you like sci-fi, universe, battle style books, I'd recommend this to you. I will continue this series because I am curious to see if it gets better. It did end on a massive cliffhanger, so I'm curious as to what the next book brings. The 5th book we read this month was Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. I gave this book, drumroll, 5 stars. I did rate Shield of Sparrows 4 out of 5 for spice. I am so excited to have a 5-star book this month, and I did not expect it was Shield of Sparrows. I really went in blind. I didn't know what to expect, but what I got was amazing. 5 stars makes this book a top for me. All of the twisty twists made this book really worth it. The main male character, perfect. I love how I didn't know who the main male character was, like, while reading. But man, when those twists hit, they hit. If you're a fan of Fourth Wing, Quicksilver, any stories with princes and princesses, you'll definitely love this book. I sobbed. This book had me sobbing when I tell you. I was emotional. I was very emotional. The 6th book that we read this month was Good Spirits by B.K. Borson. This was my bonus book that I slipped in under the radar, and I'm glad that I did because I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. I did rate this book 4.5 out of 5 for spice. That makes it a top. I read this book on my Kindle. The characters were so sweet. I loved Harriet. She was the sweetest thing. I think B.K. Borson writes really good female main characters, and Nolan was the perfect time traveler character. He didn't know as much as he should, but that made me love him even more, and he was commanding. This book was the perfect mix of romance and holiday, and I loved how cheery Harriet was, and I loved how holiday-filled this book was. We didn't ever forget that it wasn't the holidays. I loved the family dynamics in this story. I loved the paranormal time traveling in this. I love that he was a ghost, and I loved the ending. I did almost cry, but I didn't, and that's why it's not a 5. This book, however, was a top. And if you love any of B.K. Borson's other books, you're gonna love this, so you need to read it. Reading it during December was the perfect choice. And the reason why I say I read 6.5 books for the month of December is because I'm not done yet. I'm currently reading Enigma by Runix. I'm only about 43 pages in. I think that's like 9%. So I can't give you a rating of this book. However, it's a very interesting start. It's a very dark start. Please check your triggers. I can't give this a star rating. I can't give this a spice rating, but based off of its triggers, we are in for a wild ride. It is currently December 30th, so I technically have a day or so to try to finish this book. Please join me in my January reading wrap up to see what I felt about this book. I unfortunately cannot include it for December, but I'm not going to pretend that it didn't exist and that it didn't happen. So 6.5 books for December. So out of the books that I read in December, 3 were a top, 3 were a flop, and 1 of them is undetermined. Make sure if you're new here, you like the video, you hit the subscribe button, and you turn on notifications for my next videos. The next one we have planned is going to be a fun one. It's my 2025 5-star reads. I'm going to be a little late on the bandwagon with this video, but you know what? It's still December, so I can't do a book about 2025 5 stars. What if Enigma's a 5-star? I can't leave that one out. I'm not late. Y'all were just so early with your videos. Once again, thanks for watching. Let me know what your favorite reads of December were, how you ended 2025, and how you plan to go into 2026. I hope you had a happy new year. I hope all the festivities were safe and fun and memory filled. Make sure to drop like a champagne bottle or champagne cups in the comments to let me know that you got this far, and come back for some more honest, quick, fun book updates, reviews, and ratings. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!